Well, today is Saturday, January 17th at 6:33. 6:33 is synchronistic for me because one of my favorite verses in the Bible comes from Matthew 6:33, which I memorized a long time ago. And it says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven or God, and all these things shall be added unto you." All right, look, I just finished my first letter to my granddaughter Arden, which I would say a lot of the same things, okay, to all my grandchildren, but Arden is the only one I'm in touch with because I don't know where the rest of them are. And I don't have any contact information or phone numbers. But I'm gonna just read this thing and keep it because so many things, pictures, videos, and such, I have taken throughout the years have been lost and destroyed and stolen. And I believe for at least my own self, so I at least can remember actually what I did say. And so hopefully I don't get lost or destroyed to my granddaughter Arden, which again I would say to my other grandchildren, if you ever see or hear this, I would say the same thing to you. Much of the same things, not everything, because, you know, I make reference to, well, things that are more particular to Arden, but the rest of it I would also say to all my grandchildren. So I'm going to read. Hey, I'm going to read my letter that I wrote over, I guess, 3 days from January 14th, 2026 to today. I'm going to read it. So, Dear Arden, I have so much to tell you, I don't know where to begin. I was going to write yesterday, but at least I did send you some drums. Drums for you, your mom, and your dad to play together. I am now writing you with a different pen. Hey, okay, that's because my pen, I got lost it. Can you tell? Ripley, who I call Rip because there used to be a TV show called Ripley's Believe It or Not, and that's the way she is. Rip has been both shot and run over. But even though that happened to her, she is like a bright shining star. Rip means rest in peace, and that is for when you die. Believe it or not, well, okay, I made a typo, a writing mistake. I wrote R, but it's supposed to be or, like O-U-R, but it should be O-R, or not. Rip is still looking at me, nodding her head and pawing at me. So I will give her my attention and pet her. I already fed my pups and my chickens. And since I can't include any pictures because I don't have any way to do that right now, I'm just gonna show my dogs because I write about them. And look, there they are. Hey. Oh, them baby dogs. And Rip. Rip. Okay, I have to turn the light on. You can see Rip. Okay. There's Rip. She's kind of sleeping where Mr. T usually does. Now they're getting up because they think, hey. Hi, Sally. Anyway, okay. So that's the picture of my pups. So, let's see. I will give her my attention and pet her. I already fed my pups and my chickens. Okay, so I lost my other pen and the one before that. This pen is called a Pilot G2. It is supposed to work better, but I don't think so. When I was in the Navy, I had to write with a pen a lot. The pens we used were all the same. They were all the same, just like everything. Well, I should say many things. You know, the basics. Clothes, food, soap, deodorant, cigarettes, but I didn't smoke much, etc. Our pen was called Skillcraft. How could I ever forget that? I've seen them everywhere. Maybe not everywhere, but mostly everywhere. Bonnie, Sally, Goldie, and Rip are all laying down out here on the porch by me, and I imagine Mr. T is inside on a special dog bed. It only fits one. I better fix that. It only fits one. When I bought the special dog bed, the box said it was good for big dogs, as much as 75 pounds. I believed it could hold more, and it does. Mr. T weighs twice that much. No lie. I saved Mr. T before. I saved him because the dog pound called me from more than 500 miles away because they scanned him for an information chip. I had him chipped. The reason you put an information chip that can be read with a scanner beneath a dog's coat is so if the pup gets lost or in a mess, they, the people, can call someone who cares. You know, Arden, what comes to mind to me right now? I wonder if we are chipped and if God really did chip us before God let us go, because it does seem like God had to let us go to do a job. We must all be like good working dogs. Arden, I must say, I do believe we are like good-mannered and good-hearted working dogs. And between me and you, because this is a very personal matter, and a private matter, and a matter of heart and love. And so I could go on, but Mr. T just came up with slobber all across his snout. So before I go for now, I am going to tell you that secretly between me and you, I really do believe we are chipped by someone or something bigger and greater and hopefully kind of personal, like between me and you. So I think we are chipped somehow. Love, Grandpa. Thursday, January 15th, 2026. Dear Arden, I know what your name is. Arden Iris Rawlinson. My name is Thad Allen Robbins. I am your grandpa. Of course, right now you are a baby and you don't know anything. I know I have a good while to wait for you to learn how to read and write, but that is fine with me. I will wait for you. In the meantime, I would like to use this opportunity to tell you about a story about part of your family, your great grandma, and her name was Sharon Joan Whitten. When she was born, before I was born, 1 year before my mom, Grandma Sharon, had a baby, and my mom and my dad named him Tony. Tony would have been my older brother, but he died when he was a baby. I always wondered what it would have been like to have him as my older brother. I wonder about a lot of things. I wonder what it would be like if things were different. Arden, I have to tell you a couple things. A couple things means two things. That is what a couple is. A couple is two. And when two are one, that means they like to be together. For you, my Arden, let me say, that is a dream come true, if you dream one. So when you think about a couple, make sure you make it happy. One more thing. Grandma Sharon, my mom, said to me that we make what is real, and that is what we call our reality. My mom told me that, and that is what your great grandma Sharon would tell you too. You are light to everyone around you. Make it real. I have a storybook I am sending to you when I send you my first letter, the one I am writing now. I will write you, that means I will write to you until I fill up this book so you can keep it, because I know you are still a baby, and also I may never be able to tell you these things again. Sally is calling for me because, see,
Sally. Hello, baby.
Sally, I gotta read my letter. Hey.
Sally. Sally, you're a baby.
All right, well, see, Sally can't see too good. She likes me to help her, but I am watching a man talk on a podcast called A Diary of a CEO, and his name is the same as the big brother of mine that my mom had as a baby, but he died. And his name was Tony Robbins. Maybe if I did have a big brother, he would have been like the Tony Robbins I've seen on the TV. I didn't have a big brother, so I guess I have to be the big brother. Ha ha. That should be fun. Arden, look at you. You are the big sister. That means you are older, smarter, stronger, and more responsible, and in charge. I put quotations around in charge. In charge means that you have been charged like a light to make things real, what you want to be real, etc. Well, that's what you have to or gotta make real. Arden, I forgot what the other two things I wanted to say were, but telling you what my mom told me, and she is your special Grandma Sharon. Nobody else could be just like her, because she was your grandma, and that is what she said. A tree limb just fell on my roof. I heard it hit. If I remember what else, etc. Okay, I remember now. My friend told me his family told him when babies die, they become angels who look over their family. Well, my mom never told me that. They do that when Sally gets on the bed. And they rip. Okay. Well, my mom never told me that, but that does not mean it is not true. You know something? That last sentence is called a double negative because it uses the word not twice, and that is a couple. What a coincidence. In coincidence also suggests two or more, and you will also learn about this when you learn math. You will learn how two negatives make one positive. Some people call it magic, other people just call it math. Ha ha. There are all kinds of light, and we can make every kind if we want to. Grandpa. Friday, January 16th. Dear Arden, I feel very sad today. I don't know if you ever feel sad, but I know that feeling very well sometimes. Very well. Sometimes I feel sad when I see people or someone get hurt or someone being mean to somebody. I feel very sad when I see people fight or when somebody is picked on, like being made fun of just because of the way they talk or look. I don't like mean people, and they will never be my friends. Friends can help us when we feel sad because we can talk about how we can make it better. We can also hold hands. That can help make it better. I will tell you a story about your Aunt Amber. Aunt Amber's mom was lost somewhere when she was a little girl. Amber was in first grade and she rode the school bus to school and home from school. One day a mean boy said to her that she didn't have a mom because her mom threw her out like trash. Your Aunt Amber told me why she was crying and what that mean boy said to make her sad and cry. Drawing pictures and painting pictures made her feel better, and she became a great artist. Her teacher praised her work, and that made her more happy. Maybe I can send you one of Amber's pictures from when she was a little girl. I would like to tell you, behind every beautiful thing, there has been some kind of pain. The Bible says, I gotta fix that. The Bible says sadness makes a perfect heart. That does take a bit of figuring out how that could be true, but that is God's magic. Sadness makes us more understanding. We can understand how people feel if we try and if we love each other and the world God gave us with animals and mountains and streams of water. When I was told your name, Arden, I thought your name was very pretty and very special, and now I feel more happy. I will tell you one more secret. The ocean is like Mother Earth's heart, and all the rivers and streams are like our veins that bring our blood to our bodies. It is very important that we keep our heart clean and pure and strong. Our hearts are like an ocean, and our feelings are the same. I felt like God told me that you would grow up and save the ocean. When I realized your name, I knew you had a very special thing to do in this life and that you would save the ocean, Mother Earth's heart. I believed this so much, I made a big climbing wall for fun. And at the top I said, not for sissies, climb every mountain and love your mama to the bottom of her sea. At first I was just going to say, climb every mountain. Then when I learned your name, I said, and love your mama to the bottom of her sea. That is Mother Earth's heart. Mr. T, one of my baby dogs, who is really not a baby anymore, but he will always be my baby, just came up to me and gave me a dog kiss. That made me feel better. Just like when I was little and hurt myself playing, my mom, your Grandma Sharon, would kiss my hurt and make it feel better. That is also Mama's magic. And that is also how we can learn to make things feel better. And the real magic is love. I made a picture of a heart. Well, that is so very important, Arden. So always remember, above all, love is God's kiss to our hurt. Grandpa. P.S. Your Aunt Amber and her mom did come back together again. P.S.S. When I feel sad, I listen to songs to make me feel better. I have favorite songs too. Since I was talking about Mama Earth and her big heart of love, I will write you one of my favorite songs called It's a Wonderful World. I see the trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They are really saying, I love you. I see babies crying, I watch them grow. They will learn much more than I will never know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I hope you like it too, Grandpa. Saturday, January 17th, 2026. Dear Arden, I think I should tell you that I am really a spaceman. Well, a space traveler, to be more precise. I came into the world because I thought I could be like one more light on the Christmas tree that would make people happy. When you grow up a little bit more and can read what I am writing to you, by that time you will probably know what I am talking about. They say God sent the star people to Earth, aka, or also known as Mother Earth, to teach people about everything we must learn to be like good working dogs. We must be like good dogs, not bad dogs. By the way, if you spell dog backwards, that means or says God. And God is just the name we give to what even space travelers like me don't know, but still feel like a ghost. People used to talk about the ghost in the machine, the whole universe, the sun, the moon, all the lights in the sky, the molecules of things too small for us to see, water, gas, air, minerals, etc. They are all the parts of a great system or machine, and it all works together to be alive. A machine is not really alive like me and you, because a machine doesn't grow or know things like us. Some people call God a placeholder. When you look into water, not all the time, but sometimes, Under the right circumstances, the water will tell you that you are there. It sees you and shows you who you are. Kinda. But really only by what you look like. I say that because our reflection tells us we are more than our image in the water, reflection, or mirror. One more thing, a very, very important observation, is that we can see, if you look very close yourself we can see if you look very close yourself in the eyes of another, and you can know that you are there for at least a moment in time. Arden, we are so much more than the ghost in the machine, or our reflection in the mirror, or even in the eyes of another, because we are real. Mr. T just came up to me for a kiss and some petting. When I started writing, he left wagging his tail, but he came back. I kept writing, so he left again. Bonnie is licking Ripley's face and head and ears for her because she can't clean that part of her body. Now she flipped Ripley's ear back and is cleaning the inside. They are gods to each other because they do for each other what they cannot do for themselves. They are God to me too, because they know more than me about some things, and they take care of me in many ways, just like I am God to them and take care of them in many ways that they can't care for themselves. Arden, I digressed from telling you I was a space traveler because my writing cannot keep up with my thoughts. I woke up from a dream. That's why I know I am a space traveler. I shut my eyes and began looking at what I saw with my eyes shut. I was just looking and looking, and then I guess I was asleep, because when I opened my eyes, it was light out. So when I traveled in my sleep, I went to some other place when your dad, my son, Isaac, was a young boy, maybe around 12. We were messing around in an old red car, working the windshield wipers, radio, and lights, but we never did honk the horn. Life is a great mystery, but my dream seemed real to me. And I know what I saw. Arden, things are never just as they appear. We know this is true. That's why we become more understanding. Like, even though my pups don't look like much to other people, and they are old now, and most of them already died, I know when they look at me, they see me and smell me and love me and care for me in their own way. They are so much more than they appear. They dream too. I know because sometimes we dream the same dream. Once I lay my head on Boomer's heart and fell asleep. Then we were together under a roof of metal in some dirt, and Boomer was playing with a cat, and I was right there with him. At nighttime, my dogs sleep with me, mostly just the 4 girls, Mama, Goldie, Sally, Bonnie, and Rip. Mr. T mostly stays inside on a single bed. But he knows when I open my eye, but he knows. Well, he knows. When I open my eyes, because he always comes right over and says, "Good morning, and how do you do?" I know more things I want to tell you, like especially about the symbols, and how 2 makes 1, and can also make 3, and the meaning of 0, and even the principle of how the sum is greater than its parts, or greater than the whole, and also how the Indians who never saw a ship could not see it until it came right up to them because they never saw one before. The symbols are like this. plus sign, minus sign, times sign, the dividing sign, greater sign, less than sign, and parentheses, and the powers up top, like 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. for powers. But it is like this in life. My pen ran out. We must learn to both hold our peace and hold our power. I always told your Uncle Adam and your Aunt Amber to hold their power when they were little because I wanted them to recognize their power and be still in their peace, especially when they were fighting each other. But I was going to say, I got to take a break from writing now. I love you, Grandpa. Okay, well, I can write to you some more now. I met an old friend in the store by chance. Oh, okay, I must tell one more thing about what we call luck. There was a king of Israel. That's the name of the tribe of people that Jesus came from. Way before Jesus, he was the king. People would come to him from all parts of the world because he was considered to be the wisest person in the world. He wrote a book called Ecclesiastes. The Catholic Church included that book when they made the book we call the Holy Bible. In that book, oh, and by the way, people from that time said King Solomon, the king of Israel, could even talk to animals for real. In that book, the wise man said, time and chance happen to all. Today, we call that luck. Some people talk about the luck of the Irish. Irish people come from a country called Ireland. Well, I made friends with a man who was English and Irish, and also, by the way, your great-grandpa, Whitten, my mom's dad, was Irish. That being said, I was standing with him at the elevator in a tall building with an elevator you could ride up and down so you didn't have to use the stairs because it was much faster and easier, plus more fun. Actually, there were 3 elevators going up and 3 going down, but they can go both ways. When we were standing there, he told me to pick the elevator that would be here first because you never can tell. You don't know how many times each elevator has to stop to pick people up and drop people off. He told me that you have to press your luck. And that is the game of chance. Irish people like to press their luck, and you have some Irish in you too. Well, my friend has a pet pig. Her pig is only 3 and weighs like 300 pounds. Pigs grow for 5 years. She thinks he will be about 500 pounds in 2 more years. She has a wood fence, but the termites, bugs that eat wood, have been eating her fence, and her pig, I forgot the pig's name, keeps leaving her yard to explore, but her pig doesn't know how dangerous it is for a pig to just go walking around snorting and trying to make friends and see new things. Pigs don't know about getting hurt and dying either. They don't know about getting hit by cars, shot by hunters for food, or even going too far from home and getting lost. But her pig does know its name and the sound of her voice. I am going to help her fix her fence to help protect her pig from danger. See, she was very lucky we met again in the store because time and chance happen to all. Some people don't believe in luck, and it's not wise to press your luck all the time because we are not given good luck all the time. Sometimes we can have bad luck, and that is when we get hurt. One time when I was in 4th grade, I was walking across the Menominee River in Wisconsin, where Indians used to live in Wisconsin, and it got very cold. I was taking a shortcut to cross the river. The ice seemed hard enough to walk to me. Then, when I was more than halfway across, the ice started cracking, and then it broke, and maybe a hole bigger than me. I was not lucky, and I fell through the hole all the way up to my nipples on my chest. And the water carried my feet and legs to the side, the way the river was pushing or flowing, but my elbows landed on the ice that didn't break. Then I was lucky. I lifted myself up back onto the ice, and it didn't break anymore. I was also alone, and I was very cold and scared or afraid. I felt froze by the time I finished walking home. When I got home, I was still freezing and shaking, and so I jumped into a hot shower. We did not have a bathtub. Man, did that hurt. It seemed like the pain would never end. My mom was still at work and nobody was around. I learned then not to take too big of chances. I learned things are not always as they appear. Most of all, I learned what providence means. Providence is what people call good luck when they believe God or an angel helped, and maybe an angel helped me survive. If I didn't survive, I would not be your grandpa, because I would have been carried under the water with no escape and died. Then my mom would have also died inside because she was doing her best to take care of me. I guess I could have been like a dead pig that never knew any better. I made a sad face. Two more things my mom called my toes little piggies, and told the story about the little piggies, that the littlest piggy was a good little piggy, but he went crying all the way home. Number 2. Your Grandma Karen told me one time that I needed to count my lucky stars. But if you want to know more about that, you will have to ask her. Because I never heard that before, and I didn't know I had lucky stars. Unless it was for pretend in my Lucky Charms cereal. I only have a little bit more space to write in this letter, so I am going to tell you a story about a boy named Robert Zimmerman, who changed his name to Bob Dylan. He is my favorite songwriter. He has helped me a lot. He helped me see things I never seen before, like the Indians who couldn't see the ships because they never seen any before. So I learned many things from him I could not see before I heard him sing his songs. He became popular the year I was born. When he was 22 years old and not popular, he was invited to sing on TV, Ed Sullivan's TV show. But Ed said just before his show that he had to sing Blowing in the Wind. But Bob wanted to sing John Birch's Paranoid Blues. Bob had been singing to only a couple of hundred people at the time, but if he went on TV, 60 million people would hear him, and he could be famous. Ed told Bob if he wasn't going to sing Blowing in the Wind and insisted on the other song, he should leave. As Bob was packing up to leave and go home, Ed asked, "Why?" And told him he was making a big mistake. Bob answered Ed and said, "At least I will be able to look at myself in the mirror." Time, chance, luck, providence all meant nothing. Do you know what really mattered? I love you, Grandpa. And that's it for letter number 1.